Greetings gamers! CD Projekt Red has released a new patch update of CYBERPUNK and Phantom Liberty version as well. In this video, we will read all update infos and details for you as it's being revealed on the official website. Here we go. The patch 2.11 for Phantom Liberty is being rolled out on PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS. In this update, we focused on fixing the most common issues encountered by players, including finisher animations, and added a little something for Rayfield enthusiasts. Details. Gameplay melee finishers will now work properly. Fixed an issue where health items could become unequipped from the quick access slot after using consumables. It will now be possible to properly switch Z and W keybinds for AZERTY keyboards. When using the classic control scheme, performing dashes will no longer result in crouching. Fixed an issue where it was still required to use the F key, default, to interact even if bound to a different key. Binding the right mouse button to an actions different than aiming will no longer result in aiming and the new action occurring simultaneously. Axolotl cyberware will now also reduce cooldown when neutralizing an enemy non-lethally. The iconic contagion quick hack will now properly cause an explosion when combined with the overheat quick hack. Added Psalm 11.6 and buzzsaw crafting specs for players who completed the required activities to acquire them, but they didn't drop. Fixed an issue preventing players from upgrading items to Tier 5++ on Xbox. Skeleton cyberware will no longer get downgraded after acquiring level 3 of the license to Chrome perk. Skill shards for skills that are already maxed out will no longer drop. The RAM cost for the Cyber Psychosis quick hack will now properly decrease after applying cyberware malfunction or an EMP effect. Killing NPCs who are drunk or using a brain dance will now properly trigger the police system. Fixed an issue where RAM Recoup cyberware was restoring less RAM than indicated by its description. Fixed an issue where fists would not have a chance to apply, bleeding after reaching level 20 in the solo skill. Fixed the description for Biomonitor cyberware, so it properly states that it heals you when health drops below 50% rather than 35%. It will now be possible to activate Sandevistan cyberware during holocalls if in combat. Fixed an issue where it was possible to get killed by a quick hack while Berserk is active, despite its feature ensuring that health cannot drop below 25%. Cyberware capacity will now be capped at 450. Cyberware exceeding the limit will be unequipped. Fixed an issue that could cause loot to float in the air as well as reappear in the same spot after picking it up. Quests and open world. Adjusted car chases so that they're not too frequent and don't overlap. Fixed an issue where vehicles purchased on the Autofixer website weren't added to the owned vehicles list even though money was spent. Made it possible to obtain the BFC 9000 iconic weapon for players who missed the crashed AV in Rancho Coronado. Fixed an issue where the animation of inspecting the Encart City Pass could be triggered inside an elevator, causing V to fall through it. Fixed an issue where the message from Encart customer support that unlocks the metro wouldn't arrive, even if the requirements were met. Fixed some instances where gigs could remain stuck as incomplete in the journal without any objectives. A day in the life. Fixed an issue where Daryl Joe would instantly die after approaching the quest marker and speaking to him. Please note that the fix is not retroactive, meaning that you need to load a save prior to speaking to Daryl to be able to complete the quest. Belly of the Beast fixed an issue where it wasn't possible to exit the basilisk after entering the tunnel. Cyber Psycho sighting. On Deaf Ears fixed an issue where it wasn't possible to collect the information required to progress because the shard wasn't present in the area. Don't Lose Your Mind fixed an issue where, after choosing to merge the Delamains, it wasn't possible to progress past the Approach the Car objective because the cab didn't spawn. Down on the Street fixed an issue where Takemura wasn't present when arriving at Wakako's Pachinko Parlor. Gig. Bring me the head of Gustavo Orta. Fixed an issue where Gustavo would immediately become hostile after entering his office. Gig. Bring me the head of Gustavo Orta. Fixed an issue where the guards would immediately attack the player after picking the peaceful street kid dialogue option. I really want to stay at your house. Fixed an issue where it wasn't possible to sleep in V's apartment bed while the quest was active. Psycho Killer improved the reward for neutralizing all cyber psychos. Players that already claimed the reward can visit Regina and collect the new reward from the weapon crate. Reported crime. Dredged Up fixed an issue where the trail that must be scanned to progress could be missing. Spellbound fixed an issue when the discounted price for the spellbook could be higher than the full price. Phantom Liberty specific. Black Steel. In the Hour of Chaos fixed an issue where there was no objective in the journal entry because the objective to meet Reed at the abandoned hotel wouldn't appear. Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos fixed an issue where there were no dialogue options that would progress the quest when talking to Yoko. Firestarter fixed an issue where some weapons could become job items after being retrieved from the locker. Hi-Ho Silver Lining fixed an issue where it wasn't possible to talk to Mr. Hands in the Heavy Hearts Club because he wasn't interactable or did not spawn for players who experienced this issue on 2.1. Just Another Story fixed an issue where vehicle contracts weren't spawning in some cases. Things Done Changed fixed an issue where the screen could go black after calling the nurse for players who experienced this issue on 2.1. Added an end credits message from Reed for endings other than the tower. Removed the possibility of installing attachments on the Catahoula iconic pistol. Fixed an issue where it was possible to activate the sensory protocol perk when it was on cooldown. Fixed an issue where it was possible to activate Synaptic Accelerator cyberware during its cooldown. It will now be required to have a cyberdeck installed to benefit from Cogito Lattice cyberware. Fixed an issue where the buff after exploding an enemy with the Detonate Grenade quick hack didn't match the description. UI added a radio port category in settings. Gameplay to customize radio port behavior. Enable sync to vehicle radio to keep the music playing after exiting a vehicle. With cycle stations with button press, effortlessly switch between radio stations by simply pressing the radio port button without the need to open the radio menu. Enable Save Current Station to have the radio port resume playing the radio station upon loading a saved game. The data window that appears when scanning will no longer default to the hacking tab rather than data. Instead, it will now remember which tab was open last. Fixed an issue preventing players from changing cyberware at Ripperdocs and seeing the cyberware capacity bar. Added a pop-up message for when it's not possible to activate Sandavistan during holocalls. Like the non-iconic variants, iconic quick hacks will no longer have the duration displayed in their descriptions. made small improvements to the appearance of net sites. Neon LED rims for the Yaiba Kusanagi CT. 3X will now light up properly. Fixed shadows appearing on V's torso when wearing tank tops. Fixed dark shadows appearing on V's hands when holding some weapons with ray tracing enabled. The Devil and Judgment tarot cards will now be properly displayed on the endgame reward screen. Vehicles. Tyre track marks will now match the actual contact patch of the tyre. Adjusted the suspension movement of some traffic vehicles to improve it visually. Motorcycle suspension has been improved to reduce visual clipping into roads and curbs. Braking is also improved. Some vehicles, including cars and trucks, will now better handle landing from big jumps. Brake torque vectoring has been added to the drive model simulation. This change effectively reduces understeer on vehicles that previously used to suffer from it excessively when hard braking while turning, most noticeable on FWD and rear mid-engined vehicles. Retuned or improved tuning in various vehicles. This includes Mizutani Hozuki MH1, MH2 and Hoseki, Villefort de Lyon, Vi 400, V410 Coupe and Vindicator, Thornton Colby CST40, Mahir Supron FS3T, Chevillon Centurion, Balausans, Quadra Type 66, Hoon, and more. There are PC improvements, a hybrid CPU utilization setting that is added. MISC added the crystal coat feature, which allows you to change vehicle paint color. Because this technology was developed exclusively by Rayfield, it is currently only available for Rayfield vehicles you own. Controller inner dead zone has been changed to new default values for players who didn't change them, as keeping the old default values could result in stick drift. Fixed an issue where the door in the Mega Building H10 apartment wouldn't automatically close in some cases. Redmod updated the address list for modders. I'm an AI voice, and on behalf of CYBERPUNK, I thank you for watching, and I hope you found the video useful. See you later in Night City. Bye bye.